Imagine a relationship that once seemed like an unbreakable bond, where love was the foundation, where dreams and goals were shared. But as time passes, something changes the spark. Fades and discontent begins to creep in. The wife, once deeply in love, starts to feel differently about her husband. Why does this happen? What causes women to begin to dislike their husbands as they grow older? This isn't some abstract phenomenon. This is grounded in something very practical. As time goes on, relationships and inevitably evolve in the early stages of marriage. There is often an idealized version of the relationship where everything feels exciting, new, and filled with promise. But as years pass, the initial thrill fades and life's realities begin to set in. Both partners grow, but often in different directions. Women especially experience shifts in their emotional and psychological needs as they age. These changes are influenced by a variety of factors. Physical changes, life experiences, shifts in personal goals, and evolving perspectives on what truly matters. What begins to happen is that women may no longer find the same sense of connection or fulfillment they once did in the relationship. In their younger years, they may have been focused on family building, raising children, or establishing their identity within the relationship. However, as they age, their sense of self may expand or change, their emotional needs evolve, and they may crave more from the relationship. Whether it's intellectual connection, shared experiences, or personal growth, if these changes are not addressed or understood by their husbands, a disconnect can form. This disconnect often manifests in feelings of frustration or disappointment. Women might begin to feel misunderstood or unsupported, as their husbands may not have kept up with the emotional changes they're undergoing over time. This sense of dissatisfaction can lead to a loss of affection, and in some cases, even resentment. Relationships that once seemed like unbreakable bonds can become strained if both partners do not acknowledge that people change over time and that love and commitment require ongoing effort to adapt to those changes. The key here is that this evolution is natural. It's not something that happens out of malice or carelessness, but rather as part of the human experience. The idea that women start to dislike their husbands as they get older isn't about a sudden or inexplicable loss of love. It's rooted in a much deeper natural process that happens as both partners experience the passage of time. As individuals age, their priorities, values, and emotional needs naturally evolve. For women, this process is often intertwined with significant life changes, whether it's becoming more self-aware, re-evaluating life goals, or simply navigating the different stages of adulthood. The early years of marriage are often focused on shared goals. Goals like raising children, managing finances, and building a life together. But as these responsibilities evolve or settle into a routine, a woman may find herself reassessing what she truly wants out of her relationship and life. For some women, this can mean a shift in what they seek emotionally or intellectually from their partners. They may find that their needs for companionship, understanding, and growth have changed. The relationship that once felt fulfilling may no longer meet those evolving needs. This doesn't mean they stop loving their husbands. Rather, it's that the love takes on a different shape, or they may desire something deeper or more fulfilling that their partner doesn't recognize or provide. The notion of falling out of love often oversimplifies this transition. It's not about an abrupt end to affection. It's more about a gradual shift in how women view themselves and their relationships. They may begin to seek fulfillment in other ways, through personal growth, career, or new experiences. And if these changes aren't supported or understood by their husbands, a subtle yet impactful disconnection can form. Over time, this disconnection can contribute to feelings of frustration. making the relationship feel distant or even causing feelings of dissatisfaction or resentment when husbands fail to recognize and adapt to their wives' evolving emotional needs. The consequences can be significant. As women age, they experience changes in how they view themselves, their desires, and their sense of fulfillment. They may feel a growing need for intellectual, emotional, or even spiritual connection if their husbands remain static in their own emotional development, unwilling to meet these new needs or engage with their wives on a deeper level. The relationship begins to strain. Women can start to feel that their husbands are no longer attuned to their inner world and that their emotional growth is either ignored or unsupported. This lack of recognition can lead to feelings of loneliness or neglect within the relationship. As the woman's emotional landscape changes, the husband may still be focused on the same patterns and expectations they had earlier in the marriage. When these needs are unmet, it creates a sense of disconnection and dissatisfaction. What once seemed like a stable and secure relationship can feel alienating, even if no overt conflict exists. The wife might not even be able to articulate exactly what's wrong. She simply feels a growing distance between herself and her partner. The lack of emotional responsiveness from the husband becomes frustrating, and over time resentment builds. The wife might begin to question whether her partner truly understands her, leaving her to search for fulfillment elsewhere. This dynamic isn't about blaming either partner, it's about the failure to grow together. Relationships require both individuals to be committed to mutual development, and when one person, in this case the husband, doesn't actively engage in this growth process, it can lead to a silent erosion of the relationship's foundation. The gap between the wife's evolving emotional needs and the husband's unchanged approach can lead to dissatisfaction, resulting in a growing emotional divide that may over time lead to disinterest or even dislike for a relationship to thrive as time passes. It's essential for both partners to be emotionally aware and responsive to each other's evolving needs. In the case of marriages where women start to feel disconnected or dissatisfied, it often stems from a lack of emotional attunement. Husbands who remain unaware of the subtle shifts in their wives' desires and emotional states can unintentionally create distance between themselves and their partners. Women often go through life stages where their emotional needs deepen or change. They might seek more connection, understanding, or intellectual engagement. Yet, if their husbands fail to notice these changes, the emotional bond weakens. It's not enough to simply be present in the relationship or go through the motions of everyday life to sustain a strong, fulfilling marriage. Both partners must stay emotionally in tune with one another, and this requires active effort. Husbands need to engage in conversations that go beyond surface-level interactions. They need to listen with empathy, ask questions, and seek to understand their wives on a deeper level. Emotional awareness isn't about grand gestures. It's about being consistently present, showing interest in the other person's inner world, and responding to their emotional cues. This emotional awareness is especially critical as relationships age, because the initial dynamics of a marriage, such as raising children or building a home, become less dominant, and deeper emotional connections take center stage. When a husband can recognize and adapt to his wife's changing needs, he becomes a partner in her growth. This partnership strengthens the bond and allows both individuals to feel supported. A relationship that grows together emotionally and personally remains resilient. Husbands who stay attuned to their wives' needs foster a connection that can withstand the natural changes life brings. Marriage is not a fixed state. It's a dynamic, evolving partnership that requires continuous effort from both people involved as life unfolds. Both partners experience personal growth, changes in perspective, and shifts in their emotional and psychological needs. If both individuals do not actively engage in this ongoing evolution together, the relationship can begin to feel stagnant and disconnected. The initial excitement of a new relationship eventually gives way to deeper, more complex needs. It's crucial for couples to recognize that love and commitment require an intentional, proactive approach to keep the bond strong over time. Life circumstances such as career changes, personal challenges, and parenting duties can alter the way each partner sees themselves and their role in the relationship. A dynamic relationship allows both individuals to grow and change without losing the connection they share. This requires a willingness to reassess one's priorities, to communicate openly, and to adapt to one another's shifting needs. When couples actively work together to support each other's growth, they strengthen their emotional intimacy and build a deeper connection that can weather the challenges of life. However, if one partner remains rigid or unwilling to engage in this mutual growth, it creates an imbalance. A dynamic relationship doesn't mean both people have to change in the same ways or at the same time, but it does mean they must remain open to understanding and supporting each other through the changes that inevitably come. This openness allows the relationship to evolve in a way that deepens rather than diminishes. The bond relationships that fail to evolve together become vulnerable. And over time, the partners may find themselves drifting apart, no longer aligned with one another's needs or goals. The challenges that come with aging and the natural changes that individuals go through in a long-term relationship can actually present opportunities for deeper connection and growth. If both partners are willing to embrace them as people evolve, their needs, desires, and emotional landscapes shift, this process can feel unsettling. But it also offers a chance for both individuals in a marriage to explore new dimensions of their relationship, instead of seeing the changes as problems to overcome. Couples can choose to view them as a chance to rediscover each other, to grow together, and to build something even more meaningful than what they once had. When couples face these shifts together, they can learn to adapt and find new ways to meet each other's evolving needs. The key is open communication and mutual understanding. Instead of assuming that the relationship is doomed because one partner's needs have changed, couples can engage in dialogue that explores how those changes can lead to greater intimacy and connection. This is not about forcing change, but about allowing both partners the space to grow while still maintaining a deep bond. A relationship that evolves together creates a sense of shared purpose and strengthens the emotional foundation. It allows both partners to feel supported, understood, and valued as they navigate the different stages of life. The willingness to grow together not only sustains the relationship, but also enriches it, turning what could be a time of disconnection into a time of renewal. If both individuals are committed to embracing the natural flow of change and growth, they can create a relationship that is even more fulfilling than before, allowing both partners to thrive individually and as a couple.